Welcome, beautiful woman. You are here if you want another level in your life. If you know you've got more inside you, you know you were here to be more, to give more, and to do more with your life, and yet something holds you back from getting to that next level. And you might be working on the area of health, physically or mentally, and you might also be working on the area of increasing your success, making more money, taking your business or career to the next level. And you might be working on improving your passion and connection with your partner, or calling love in if you're single, right? And so whatever area you're working on, I want you to know that what stops women from having what they want is the same thing. And I've worked with women all over the globe in all of these areas and separately as well. And the things that stop women from having what they want are self-doubt. Self-doubt. And you might think that you don't question yourself, but sometimes what I mean by this is when we're going to the next level. So when we want to get to this level that's outside of our comfort zone, I don't just mean with what you already know and what you're already comfortable in, because you might not doubt yourself with that. But when you want to take your life to the next level, do you question yourself in that, in your skills, in making it happen, in your discipline and all of those things? And then the second thing that stops women from having what they want is fear. And this can be fear of failure and fear of not being good enough, fear of putting yourself out there, fear of being, courageous, or fear of just putting yourself first and honoring yourself and not people pleasing, because so many women people please and worry about everyone else. I know that I've done that so much in my past. And we don't put ourselves first. And so that's also a fearful pattern of not valuing ourselves in some cases, not feeling that we're worthy. So we have to check in and see where these patterns come from and what the underlying thing is behind it that's blocking us from putting ourselves first. And so it can be fear of success as well. So when we're going to that next level, we might have beliefs of like, well, if I make that money, or if I ask for that money, or if I go to the next level, shit, that's a lot of responsibility. Like, can I do it? And there could be this fear of like, would I be able to manage with all of that stuff that might happen if I take my life to the next level? So fear can be in all different areas. And then the third thing that stops women from having what they want is a lack of confidence. And again, you might think, well, I'm not struggling with my confidence. But when we really delve into what confidence means, it's a belief of and a feeling inside of yourself that you know that you can make what you want happen. And again, I mean this next level, when we go for these bigger things and in any area, do you believe that what you want is possible? And do you believe that you have everything inside you to make that happen? And when we look at these underlying things that stop women from having what they want, we really delve in and start to see where these things come from and why they're a problem and how to break through them. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you in this training, and it will just be the tip of the iceberg. So if any of it resonates with you, that's what this is all about. Reach out, jump on a call with me. I offer this free strategy session so that we can go in and find out what they are for you, because often it's going to be a blind spot that you're not aware of, and I'll explain more about that in this powerful training. But what I want to share with you first is a little bit about my story and where I've come from, so that you know who is guiding you on this session and if you continue to do any work with me. I was born dead, and I was a really sick little baby, and I was born with a life-threatening disease. And growing up, I was told that I would die when I was 7, and then I was told I would die when I'm 11, and then I was told I would die at 24, and then I was told I would die at 37, and now I'm 40. And I've had some massive miracles opening up for me with my health. And also I've had a lot of struggles over the years with my health. And so I've really learned what has to happen to break through that. Again, I'll share more with you about that as we go along. But, what I wanted to say about this part of my story is that I had so many people telling me these negative beliefs. I'm not going to be okay on my own. I'm not going to manage on my own. I'm not going to survive on my own. I need to accept that I'm here and my health's going to decline down to here, and that this is just something that I have to accept. And it was scary to take on those beliefs and not question them. And so I had that, and then I had many things happen in my life that were quite traumatic. But then there was a tipping point for me when I lost my mum to cancer. And I was so close with my mum, and really during that time when she passed away, I had to face my biggest fears and the sadness and pain that I was faced with during that time. And after she passed away, I clutched onto a really unhealthy relationship because I was just scared to be on my own. I was scared I wouldn't survive. I was like on the fence in this relationship. I'm in it, and then when I'm in it, I'm thinking I want to be out of it. And then when I'm not in it, I'm pining over him, and I'm on the fence, and I'm fluffing around for years, like literally wasting years of my life in this unhealthy and unhappy relationship, not valuing myself, not wanting to be honest with myself, and struggling with a lot of pain inside of myself from things that had happened in the past. And this held me back, and I was just so scared. I didn't want to experience any more pain, so I stayed stuck. I hit an emotional threshold. I couldn't take any more. I took my partner to a massive coaching event, and I got coached by the world's best, and he pretty much called me on all of my shit, and I had to be really honest with myself. And so from that point forward, I was honest with myself. And I suggest that we all do that, right? Like, I invite you to do that, because until we can get to the truth, even though it feels so scary, we are not ever going to be able to create the change that we want and create the life that we want. And so inside of that, I started to tell the truth to myself, and that was that I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that what I wanted was possible. I didn't believe that I could call in an amazing man into my life because I didn't have good role models as men growing up. I had some traumatic things happen when I was younger with men. And so I had this identity for them that made me believe that I wouldn't be able to attract a good man and that I wasn't worthy and all of these things. I had these beliefs around men and what was possible. And then in my career, because I'd been a sick child and I'd missed so much school, I believed that I wasn't intelligent, and I didn't ever think that I would be able to help other people because I couldn't even help myself, even though there was this deep inner calling for something really big from myself. So there was that in relationship, it was in career, and then there was my health, that I literally had physical references of a whole lifetime of pain and suffering to think that, I could never be free of it. And I have, from that point, I started to tell the truth with myself that I was just scared. I was scared. I didn't believe in myself. I had a fear of failure, a fear of success. I doubted myself, and I did not believe that what I wanted was possible. And I was disconnected from what I even wanted at that point because I was just surviving. I was living in so much pain from my past, and I was surviving every day. And when I started to tell the truth with myself, then I could make a new decision to create change in my life. And from that point, I turned my life around. I was like, this NLP stuff, I've got to go and learn it. And I learned so many other tools and techniques: hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and NLP, the most powerful tools and techniques on the planet, and the secrets to transforming self-doubt into confidence to become unstoppable. I learned the secrets to releasing negative emotions and pain and suffering, not just from the mind on a conscious level, but from the nervous system and from our body, so that I can feel good. But now I teach other people to do the same thing. And also timeline therapy, which is mind-blowing and profound. If you want to put yourself through a deep healing process, oh my gosh, it will change your life. I worked with a woman who had severe PTSD for over 40 years and said that 1 month with me, one-on-one, gave her more transformation than 40 years of psychiatrists, psychologists, and psychotherapists. So I learned these beautiful, powerful tools. I sold my car. I literally got every dollar I could and invested it into the best coaches and courses on the planet to learn these tools and techniques. And now I have my own company and I help women all over the world to learn this stuff and to embody it and get it into their minds and nervous system so they can take different actions that are in alignment with those beautiful big goals they have in those 3 areas that I've shared with you. And 10% of what I earn goes to Animals Australia and Operation Underground Railroad, which saves children from sex slavery. And there's no greater gift than being able to contribute like this inside of my business as well. And here we have a couple of women that I've helped. I could show you so many of these people that I've worked with, but this is beautiful Sally. She was one of the women I worked with that wanted to improve all 4 areas of her life: health, both physically and mentally, her relationship with her husband, becoming a better mum, and making more money in her business, and being able to unleash herself in her art studies. She's a very talented artist, and she had incredible results with me. And then we have Heather. Is wonderful. She's a go-getter. She's very successful in her business and wanted to take her skills and her career to the next level and put herself out there in higher leadership roles and releasing the stuff from her past and becoming unstoppable in her life. So again, you can see the incredible results that she had. And then we have beautiful Mishka from Melbourne, Australia, who's just come so far. And I remember when I was working with her at the start, she was like, "But Jazz, what if this doesn't work for me?" And I said, the only reason it won't work is if you stop, because I've done this now with so many women. It's like a recipe. I know exactly what needs to happen. And she took that leap of faith. She, got the money, found the money, and invested in herself and had the most incredible transformations in her life as well. And now is a coach herself and helping other women, and is doing phenomenal. And so that's why today I'm here to just give you some value in these 3 areas so that you can start to gain some insight and just have a few powerful tools. And then if you want to know more about it, because as I said, it will just be the tip of the iceberg. I've got so much more where this comes from, and I can't wait to share it with you and be a part of your journey to help you take your life to the next level, because none of us want to be sitting around at the end of our lives with regret of like, I could have, I should have, and yet I didn't, and all this time has passed now, and now I haven't achieved what I want. I'm disappointed and sad and all of those things. Like, no one wants that. And I want you to be the fullest expression of yourself, and I'll give you everything that I've got. So let's get into the training. So the first step in transforming your life and getting to the next level in your life is to heal from the past and release the past. And I can explain it to you like this. If you're driving the car of your life and you're constantly looking in the rear view mirror at your past, and all you're doing is driving around looking in the rear view mirror, you're going to crash, right? Because you're not looking where you're going. And that's what we're like in our life. We're constantly looking to the past for what is going to happen in the future, because the brain just wants to avoid pain and gain pleasure. And so it's constantly looking and analyzing, like a computer program, what's happened in the past and is that happening now in the future? And it does that so that it can try to avoid pain and keep you safe. And when it's looking in the past, and we do this on both a conscious and unconscious level, and when I say this, just for anyone who doesn't know, when I say unconscious, I mean that it might be a feeling inside of your body that you don't even recognize consciously. Only 5% of our decisions, beliefs, and behaviors come from our conscious mind, and 95% of our decisions, beliefs, and behaviors come from our subconscious mind, which is like a blind spot. We don't even know that it's happening. And so when we're driving the car of our life, looking in the rear view mirror for what's happened in the past, we're actually creating a predictable future based on what's happened in the past. But to have a new future, you have to be able to think differently and feel differently and act differently and take different actions. And so stepping into that unknown can be really scary, especially when you've had negative past references in your life that say, this is not safe to do that. And so it's very important to do that releasing from the past on both a conscious and subconscious level. Then we have step 2, upgrade, reprogram, and transform your identity. And what do I mean by identity? Our identity is how we define ourselves, and it is who we believe we are. And this consists of how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. And so you can think of identity as personality. It's what you believe about yourself, it's your values, it's your decisions, it's what you think is good and bad, and all of those belief systems. Our thoughts impact how we feel, our feelings impact how we think, and this is like a cycle that goes round and round, either in a negative way or a positive way. So if you have these beliefs about who you are, I'm not enough, or I can't do that, or this is bad if I do that, or I don't want to disappoint people, all of those things are just beliefs and thoughts, and we need to work out what they are on both a conscious and subconscious level. We need to find those blind spots and unravel them so that we can change them. And then when we've created that change, we want to develop, train, and practice. And that takes repetition, and it's very important, I believe. I've always done so well with coaches and having other people to help bring the unconscious into the conscious awareness. And that way, from that point, we have the opportunity to be able to transform it and know what to do from someone who has traveled the journey, who's walked the walk and knows how to get that result and knows what's required to get that result. Let's talk about self-doubt. If you have a goal and you find yourself doubting yourself, that comes from your brain wanting to look in the past to see if you've achieved it. And if you haven't achieved it, it's going to think that you can't do it, and that's where self-doubt comes from. It's like if you've never driven a car before and you hop in a car and you go to drive it for the first time, but your brain doesn't have any references to say that you know how to do this, and so you doubt yourself. And when we think about this and the impact on our lives of doubting ourselves and not taking action, and then the time that passes by and we keep being on the fence or whatever it is, the pattern that you're doing, well, it's going to have a really big cost on you. And so we need to look at ways to transform this, and there are a few ways that you can do this. The first way is to visualize. There are many successful people out there who tell incredible success stories of how they visualized what they wanted over and over. They practiced in their mind over and over until they felt certain that they could achieve it, and then they went out and achieved it. And I've certainly achieved a lot in my life with visualization, and I think this is a really big part of what I teach. And the second way that we can transform this is by saying things and using our voice and repetition and changing our beliefs. And we can keep going over and over, repeat and visualize, and we can do this. But also, I think that the quickest way to transform this is the modality that I use, which is timeline therapy. And in that, you can start to transform yourself at a subconscious level, and you can do it very fast. It's transformational. It can be done in such a fast process, whereas the other ones, visualizing and repeating affirmations and training your body like that, can take a really long time. So if you make that transformation in the subconscious mind, and with NLP techniques and hypnotherapy all mixed together with the visualization and with the affirmations, and not just I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, like really feeling it in your body. And I teach you these beautiful ways to remember things from your past where you felt that way, and it's like remembering you. It's remembering you, or it can also be said that it's becoming someone new, because you have to think differently and feel differently and behave differently than what you've been doing up until now. So up until now, you've been living a set of programs that have come from your past, of either what was told to you on repeat or from your own past experiences where things happened and you made decisions about yourself and your life and what's possible. And so we need to be able to transform that, and that means that you're going to need to step into the unknown and change these thoughts and these feelings and these behaviors. And that's going to be uncomfortable because you haven't been living that way. Just like if you've never driven a car before and you hop in a car and there's all these things to do and you're like, oh my God. So that's what it takes. They're the 3 steps to transform self-doubt. Then we have fear. Oh my gosh, fear is there for so many women. So many of us experience a fear of failure, a fear of success, a fear of disappointing people. And this is, I could talk about this for so long. This goes into so many reasons and levels as to why we do all of this. But what I do want to share with you about fear is that the brain is just wanting to look for certainty, right? So when we're growing up, we go to school. It starts out at school. When we go to school and we get something wrong or we make a mistake and we're told we're wrong and that was a mistake. And so we start to be conditioned to hold back, not believe in ourselves, question ourselves and become fearful. And also another part of fear is the brain is constantly trying to protect us. So we have that fight-flight mechanism in the body. And if we've experienced pain and trauma in the past, the brain's constantly analyzing, like this computer software program, am I safe in the moment to step out and do something that I want to do, or am I safe in this moment? And it's constantly analyzing, and it's analyzing from what it knows in the past, from what's familiar and what has happened. And this can be really dangerous because if you're constantly looking at the past, you're actually going to achieve the same results. And also, things that happen in the past can act like filters, right? Something happens and we might generalize and be like, well, that man hurt me, so all men can hurt me. And there's this filter. And then we might have something else happen. This person left me, so if this person left me and I loved them, all people might be able to leave me and hurt me. And then we make all these beliefs and these decisions that filter our vision. And when that happens, it creates fear and uncertainty, and we kind of have this distorted reality, which was me. I was in so much fear from the past. I had so many filters that I had a distorted view of reality. I couldn't see reality for what it is. And so how do we overcome fear? Well, we just have to start to do it, right? I know it sounds so simple, but until we start to just take the uncomfortable action and stepping into that, and training ourselves to feel safe in the moment and start to develop that trust within ourselves, to hold ourselves, and also to be able to be discerning in what we are putting ourselves out to the world to do. If it's choosing a partner, are we discerning in, are they really right for me, or are we just craving love from a place of pain and suffering and fear from the past? So there's all of these different ways that we can get into it, but we have to just be able to start to step in. And the second thing that I want to share about this is focusing on what you want and only on what you want, and having clarity with what you want, because so many of us know what we don't want, because all of these things have happened in our past and we're like, I know I don't want this, I don't want that. And we have things in our present moment where we look at and we're like, I don't want that, I don't like that. And I don't want this to happen. I don't want to fail. I don't want to disappoint people. And when we're focusing on that, all of our energy goes onto it and we are unable to take action. We are causing more fear inside of us. And that's that false evidence appearing real. It's not real, but with all these distortions and things happening in the mind and the fight, flight, freeze mechanism of the brain that's trying to protect us and keep us safe and preserve our energy. Oh my gosh. I want to talk about the third thing that stops women from having what they want, the lack of confidence. This is not believing that what you want is possible, whether or not you don't believe that you can achieve it, or you just don't believe that the universe supports you or that it can actually happen. You don't believe that what you want can really happen, that next level thing. And so we need to be able to break through that. How do we do that? There are many ways to do it. And so one of the first things could be to make a new decision. You could make a new decision to trust yourself and to step into that unknown and just trust yourself and do it and see what unfolds. You could also start to shift the focus of your brain, because as I said, the brain wants to focus on what we don't have, what's missing, and what's happened in the past, the rearview mirror. And it's looking back at past references and it's saying, you can't do that. Look, you tried in the past and you didn't do it, or you said you'd do this thing so many times and you didn't. And so now I'm a procrastinator, or whatever the word is or the language is that you use. You've got these beliefs now where you don't believe that what you want is possible. So you could decide to trust yourself, and then you can start to look back in your past around events that you've forgotten about where you actually succeeded, because the brain's so busy focusing on what you didn't do well at. But what have you done well at in your past? Because I know that you've succeeded at more than you give yourself credit for. If you're really honest with yourself and you get into a heart-centered space, like take a deep breath in. Do it with me now. Let's do it. Take a deep breath in. And releasing out. And you know what? You can center into your heart a little bit more, and you can breathe into your heart for what you're grateful for. And if you spend 2 minutes doing that, and then you start to focus on what have I achieved in my life? What have I done well at? And I know that as women, we don't often want to give ourselves credit for what we've achieved. But when you can start to do that, it's this beautiful remembering of how beautiful and talented and amazing you are. But the brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes information. I go more into that into the training. But all you need to know for now is that the brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes information, which means it isn't focused on what you've done well at. And that is just there for all of us. I've been guilty of that in the past. We're not kind enough to ourselves. So this is an invitation right now to be kind to yourself and start to remember what you have achieved in your life, whether it be in health, relationship, or career. And from that place, you can start to remember. Another way that you can start to develop your confidence is to read books of people who have developed that and watch how they think and how they speak. And you can start to adopt those words and that language and how they behave and how they feel. And you can start to practice doing that. So every morning you can put your confidence jeans on and you can imagine, how does that person speak? How do they stand? How do they walk? And you can start to train yourself to do that. So we can develop our confidence by our physiology, right? So if I'm standing here like presenting to you in this way, I'm sure you can feel my certainty and confidence because I know this stuff well and I've practiced it and I've become this in my life. I've broken through and made it happen. Now I feel really certain about what I teach and what I do. But if I was to be like, hey, yeah, I know this stuff about confidence. I could give you a couple tips. Does that feel like powerful to you? No, because when I'm standing like this with my body up and I'm speaking in this powerful tone with my voice, there's certainty to my voice, and my chest is up and I'm leaning into you. I'm not pulling back with my shoulders hunched. It's all of these things you do with your physiology, how you speak, how you think, and this is a training. We all have to train ourselves to do this. It doesn't come naturally, especially with how we've been conditioned in the past. And so we can do that by reading about other people or by having powerful role models around you, like a coach or a group of people that will lift you up to be the best, like to call the best part of you forward. My program, Become Unstoppable, is phenomenal 6-week group training program that helps transform these 3 things. And it's having a group of women around you and myself leading the way that is calling for your best self. And the way that I think and the way that I will call you into those powerful parts of yourself and show you exactly how to do it is what is going to help you transform. We can transform ourselves at a faster rate when we surround ourselves with people who have what we want, who have already taught themselves to do it and know what has to happen, the exact recipe to get from here to here. They know the exact steps, and I know the exact steps. I've learned the most powerful tools and techniques to get it into the mind, into the nervous system and body, and to be able to take that uncomfortable action and know how to deal with everything that comes up along the way. But also the subconscious patterns. As I said before, 95% of our decisions, beliefs and behaviors and our subconscious mind and nervous system is a memorized program and patterns from our past. And so we need to be able to break through that, and there's only so much we can do on a conscious level. And that's why my work is next level, because it goes in and it uncovers those blind spots for you and it reveals those things that you literally can't see on your own, and then we can transform them through the most powerful tools and techniques on the planet. And oh my gosh, you will see the most incredible results. And the most powerful part of this is that you get to step into the best version of yourself, the most powerful version of yourself, and you discover things inside of you that you never knew existed. And you connect with that strength, and there's no more wasting time. There's no more living in this average way where you're playing small and trying to keep yourself safe, trying to protect yourself and stop yourself from being hurt. And we break through that once and for all. So literally, this is the tip of the iceberg. I have so much more to share with you about where this comes from, and so many more powerful tools and techniques that can help you develop these beautiful parts inside of yourself so that you can connect with your beauty, your talent, your strength, your love, and your courage, and all the incredible gifts that are inside of you. And I've walked that journey. I know exactly what needs to happen, and I'd love to jump on a call with you, can help you to learn and implement some of the things I've shared with you in this video, but also where you're at and where you want to be and what's stopping you. I can help you start to uncover some of that stuff and strategize with you and give you some guidance about what needs to happen within yourself to start to get to that next level. And that's just a call where I support you and strategize with you to get what you want. And also there'll be an opportunity to find out more about my work and my group programs and all of the things, and I can't wait to share with you and jump on a call with you. So click the button and book that call, and we'll jump on a Zoom session. I cannot wait to meet you and support you on this beautiful journey and meet you and understand what you want and your deepest desires, and help you uncover what's in the way and blocking you so that you can have everything that you want. Feel unstoppable inside of yourself, have all of the confidence and belief in yourself, and just know that you really can have everything that you want. So I can't wait to speak to you. Click the button below, book that call. Don't hold back, just take that leap of faith if any of this resonates with you, if you've gotten value from it. I can help you implement it all, and I look forward to speaking with you. So click the button, and I'll see you soon.